Line for Line podcast featuring, presenting Barely Watch podcast featuring Lester Wiltfong Jr. Sorry, guys, I had a brain fart even though I do this every week.
All
Lester,
good.
Lester, how are you feeling today, sir?
Good man. It's Packers weekend, so it's wild, right?
Scary
Yeah.
sight, scary time right now. Seriously. But before we get ready to get started, young man, we're coming off of an impressive win against Philadelphia last week. That had to make a bunch of people feel good. We beat the champs. How are you feeling going into this week, Lester? Cruising off of a W.
Yeah, it's funny because everyone looked at the schedule before it was announced, and it was like, oh man, this is the time, and you'll find out about the Bears, Pittsburgh,
Mm.
Philly, Packers. Packers again in 2 weeks. So far, I mean, they took out Pittsburgh, they took out the Eagles. I mean, it's going to be a tall ask to beat Green Bay in Lambeau, but so far, everything put in front of these Bears, they've kind of passed the test.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Of course. Now, Lester, would you say that the Packers are just as good contender and just steamrolling teams, or would you just say they're an okay team?
I mean, look, this is the Packers, right? They're always, the last, several years, they've been one of the better teams in the league. Matt LaFleur is a good coach. It's funny, like 3 weeks ago, the Packers, they lost to the Eagles, right? And
Mm-hmm.
their fans were losing it. Oh, they got to fire LaFleur, their fans are starting to say. And it's like they thought their season was over. And it's like I know a lot of fan bases have their moron fans, but there's a lot of them that root for the Packers. Like they're trying to run, LaFleur out of town. Come on, he's one of your better coaches in the league. Yeah, I think the Packers are good. I think Jordan Love's a good quarterback. I know a lot of Bears fans want to clown him, but I mean, he keeps producing, he keeps winning. He doesn't always look the best doing it. Some of his mechanics are a little off here and there, but that's a good football team. Good football team, good offense, good defense, really good head coach. Like I said, it's going to be tough for the Bears to go in Lambeau and win that game.
Mm-hmm. Now, as we know, a lot of fans know that actually at the top of the year, 2025, we were able to win in Lambeau. Granted,
Yeah.
Packers didn't have much to play for, so but the Bears still won, which still made our Bears fans. What has to happen, Lester, for the Bears to go into Lambeau and emerge victorious with a W with no Rome Odunze, which was the breaking news yesterday?
Yeah, then it's got to be a similar game plan to what we saw against Eagles, right? I mean, run the ball. I mean, the Packers are losing. The Packers have a good defense, but they're missing one of their big defensive tackles. They're a little thin up front. I think that if the Bears want to win this game, you'll see some more duo stuff inside. It might be a big Kyle Monangai game. But you know what? Actually, as I say that, I realize Swift is not the outside zone only guy this year. He's been pretty good running inside in between the tackles.
Hmm.
He hits the hole quick. He's decisive. He has good burst. So I think it's going to be a big run game, right? Monangai, Swift, pounded inside. The Bears, their interior has been really good. Drew Dahlman in the center,
Hmm.
Tooney and Jackson, they've been really good this year. Run the rock, man. I think that's the game to do it in.
It's supposed to be a very cold one as well, too.
Yeah.
Do you think that will make them want to run that much more as well?
Yeah, I think the weather is going to be a factor, right? I mean, I don't think there's any snow or rain or anything in the forecast, but it's going to be cold, right? I mean, get in there, handle your business. If you're able to, kind of what we saw in Philly, right? They took Philly's soul. I mean, they
Mhm.
were beating them down the whole game. They're moving the line of scrimmage. If the Bears can start doing that, and then it's cold outside, it's like at some point the defense for the Packers are like, yeah, let's just get the hell out of here. It's
Mhm.
just it's not working. So I think if the Bears can kind of do that, I think they got a chance.
Yes, sir. Now, if you had to say, Lester, what would you say the reason be is that they did feel comfortable enough to sit Rome Odunze out facing the Packers?
So I think he's just got that foot injury that came out that was a stress fracture.
Hmm.
It doesn't need surgery, but it has to have rest. And I, I think may have initially heard it after or in the Ravens game because the following week he missed practice. He played. He missed practice the next week, but he still played. He missed practice the next week, but he still played. So kind of like how we saw the Bears say we got to sit DeAndre Swift down a week to let him rest, whatever was wrong with him. I think it's kind of the same thing. They might sit Rome down for a week, maybe two. Let that stress fracture heal, get to where it's not bothering him anymore, and then I think he'll be fine. I think he'll be fine for the playoff run. They're not putting him on injury reserve or not like that. It's just one of those things you have to rest it to let it get better, and then he'll be good to go. And I know we texted about this earlier this week. I guess that was Rome that jumped up and popped that
But
the ceiling. Yeah,
yes, sir.
that's not
But
why he got hurt though. He was hurt
I,
for a while. They just had a like I said,
yeah.
at some point it gets to the point where you gotta sit him down,
Mhm.
and the Bears just figured, you know what, it's aggravating him. Let's just give him a break. And look, I'm fine with it. It's cool.
Now, unless they're shorthanded at the receiver position, who are some people that are going to have to step up on the offensive side of the ball? Because we know that when it's that third, fourth down,
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, you see Caleb going to Romo Dunze for those big plays and those first downs.
Rome's numbers have kind of dropped though. I mean, if you look at his numbers this year, I
Hmm.
mean, the first half of the season, he was among the league leaders, right? He was really, the Bears' top receivers by far. Like he was the guy. Ben Johnson even talked about it. Like, look, they run different primaries depending on the play. It's not always the same guy as the primary, but it just so happened that a lot of the times he was open, so Caleb hit him.
Hmm.
And I think maybe the injury may affected his route running a little bit. He wasn't always as open as he was. He wasn't coming out with some of those catches that we want to see him make. So I think they'll be fine. I mean, Rome hasn't. Look, it's not like we're missing prime Brandon Marshall. I mean, like I'm a big Rome fan. I think he's going to be really, really good and has Pro Bowl potential. But the way he's been playing right now, he's not that guy. He's fine. But DJ Moore, Luther Burden. I want to see more Colson Loveland. I think he has probably the best hands of the entire team. So if you're missing a receiver, fine. Let's just play more double tight end set. Cole Kmet, Colson Loveland, run the rock, play action pass.
Hmm.
That's the recipe right there. You need to beat the Packers.
Yes, sir. Now, What was going through your mind, Lester, when you saw that T.J. Edwards will go, Noah Sewell will go? What were some of the things you were thinking when you saw that?
Yeah, I like TJ Edwards. He's a really smart football player. I mean, the Bears moved him to the mic this year. He's been playing more in the middle. And I just think that suits him a little better. He's not asked to cover quite as much. Although that he's fine in that. Look, he's not the greatest athlete, but he's really instinctual, really smart, and he helps that defense. I forget who shared it, but someone shared the numbers of the Bears defense with and without TJ and Kyler Gordon in the lineup, and it's just a better defense with those guys playing. I mean, obviously, look, we're talking about your better players. Um, they would love to get Tremaine Edmonds back at some point, but getting TJ back's big. Sewell, he's a guy. He's fine. He is your starting at the Sam. He may play some more reps this week, but I was fine with the reserves filling in the last few weeks. I think more nickel, more dime, may be the way to go.
Hmm. Obviously, we saw that Tyreek Stevenson is out as well too. How do you think the secondary will hold up? Will Kyler Gordon, Jalen Johnson still be on the pitch count? What's the update with that?
I loved how they did it against the Eagles. Right? They played Kyler Gordon at nickel. They played Kyler Gordon on the outside. They left Jalen Johnson so he wasn't playing the full game. But now here we are. We're another week back, so maybe they're getting closer to being able to play the whole game. But like I'm fine. I mean, I want to rotate those guys because CJ Gardner Johnson's playing good football. Rotate those guys, keep those guys fresh back there. Nashawn Wright, I mean, he's playing at a Pro Bowl level. Just won the NFC's Defensive Player of the Month for November.
Mm-hmm.
I just think at this point, your secondary is your strength. Like we saw last week, they played a ton of nickel, a lot of dime. Do it.
Yes, sir. Now, what type of packages, what type of formation, what type of defense do you think we will see against this top heavy offense for the Packers?
Yeah, I think look, LaFleur's a good coach. He's going to want to dictate terms. So, he may not want to see the Bears playing much nickel and dime. So he may play more heavy. I mean, he may want to try and dictate that by playing out there. But look, the Packers are banged up too. They're missing their best tight end. They got some other injuries. A couple receivers, are out. I think one may not go. They're just now getting one back. I think is questionable. So
Hmm.
look, it's going to be a personal game, and it's a game of attrition a lot. And both teams have some injured players. So but even so, Dennis Allen made like, look, if you want to play jumbo, fine. I like Kyler Gordon against your jumbo package because Kyler Gordon is physical, and the same with Gardner Johnson. Yeah, they're defensive backs, but they're physical in the run game. They'll jump up there and they'll get in the backfield. They have tackles for loss. They have no problem setting the edge if they have to. So I don't know. It's going to be again. Dennis Allen's a good defensive coach, and it's going to be curious to see how he kind of matches up if the Packers try and dictate terms as far as formation. Yeah, I mean, you got to rotate them. I mean, I think if that's the plan, that's in the cards. I think that maybe they're free to go at linebacker. Look, now you got Demarco Jackson. Amin Agbangabiga. You know, these guys have got some reps now, so you kind of like probably trust them a little more in the offense. So, like I said, maybe you don't play Sewell as much, or maybe you rotate Sewell in a little bit, or maybe you don't play TJ the whole game because he has a hamstring and a hand injury. You know, from what I understand, if it was more hammy, he'd probably be still sitting, but I guess the hammy's probably healed up. But still, cold weather, you know, why take a chance? If you can give him a blow here and there, give him a blow. Again, it may come down to the player. You know, he may be one of the kind of guys that once he's loose and ready to go, he doesn't want to sit. So, you know, again, what does the player want to do? Is he comfortable coming out? Is he comfortable in a rotation? But I think you got to do it. You got to go at the Packers in waves because, like I said, it's a good, very good offense, very good running game.
Now, knowing what we know by looking at the numbers, Bears don't usually do good when they don't take the ball away, Lester. What are some things that you think Dennis Allen will scheme up for them to possibly go after and hawk the ball and get some takeaways?
Yeah, that's just that's a mentality, right? The peanut
Mm-hmm.
punch, the ripping the ball out when you can. You know, it's knowing when you can rip it and when you have to make the sure tackle. You know, and I'm sure that's something that's been pounded in these guys since training camp, right? They know the best time to do it, the best time to kind of go for the sure tackle.
Mm-hmm.
But look, like I said, I talked about Nashawn Wright already. He's playing at a high level. You know, I mean,
No one
he's
expected.
gonna he's gonna give some plays up.
Mm-hmm.
That's just kind of nature of the position. But I mean, if you're Jordan Love, who is very good at keeping the ball away from the other team, right? He only has what 3 picks all year.
Mm-hmm.
He's smart with the football. Maybe he doesn't want to go that way, And then what you got? Jalen Johnson on the other side, who's a former All Pro Bowler, who's coming back and had a good game last week. He's got to put the ball in play somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So who are you going to attack? Are you going to attack the middle of the field? Okay. Well, Dennis Allen knows this. He knows that Jordan Love may try and do that, so he may scheme up some disguised coverages. The Packers like to do a lot of stuff where they really wait. They want, like I said, they want a good head coach. A lot of motion, much like the Bears, a lot of
Mm-hmm.
shifts. He tries to get you to declare your defense, so you know. Dennis Allen knows this. So okay, let's disguise our coverages. If you think I'm in man, fine. I'm going to show you man, at the snap, and now we're going to rotate the zone. So it's going to be a great chess match. I know as Bears fans, we're all hyped about the offense of Ben Johnson,
Mm-hmm.
but Dennis Allen's doing a great job there. I mean, he's doing a lot of good stuff with what he's doing with personnel,
Mm-hmm.
with disguises. So it's going to be a fun chess match to watch that side too.
At what point do you think we will possibly see Tremaine Edmonds back out there? What is this, week 3 or week 4 now that he's been out?
Yeah, I think he's eligible to come off IR for Packers week 2 for the next one. So he's got one more week to sit out. If he's good to go, then he can come back that week. We've kind of seen the Bears be cautious with this, where they may activate him and give him, a full 21-day practice window. But from what they said when he was hurt, they said it's not a season ender. They said he'll be back. So
Of course. Now, Lester, switching to the offensive side of the ball, what type of game does Caleb Williams have to have in order to beat the Packers? Are you going to expect him to go out there 4 touchdowns, 400 plus yards, manage the game? What would you say that's going to be like?
yeah, just be smart. I mean, he look. All I hear on social media is how bad the Bears passing game is. Right? I mean, the Bears they can't pass. They stink. They have like the 15th ranked passing attack. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's not the best, but anyone trying to say the Bears can't pass or the passing game is bad this year, it stinks. They're just hyping up some BS, trying to chase clout and rile fans up.
Mm-hmm.
Look, it's not as good as the run game, but it's still a pretty good passing attack. And the key is, look, they're pushing the ball downfield, right? They're stressing the defense. All these explosive plays they get, they're coming in the run game, they're coming in the pass game, they're coming off play action. That's how you stress a defense. And his accuracy is not the best this year. Right now, he's kind of working through stuff. I forget who did it. I think it might have been Ted Gwynn. I might have had an article in the Athletic. But he's kind of saying, look, it looks like the offense is thinking. It looks
Mm-hmm.
like they're trying that the passing game, the run game has been clicking, right? But it looks like the passing game, there's too much thinking going on. He thinks Caleb's still thinking too much, which is it's natural. I mean, it's going to happen. But the fact that they're still able to have the 15th ranked passing attack, while they're having all these problems, they're still able to lead the league in explosive while they're still having all these problems. That's good. I mean, that's a sign of progress. That's a sign this offense eventually will be one of the league's best.
Yes, sir. We know it will be a cold one, Lester. Potential to snow as well. What type of scoring game do you see it being?
I think it's going to be you know in the 20s. I don't think it'll be low scoring. I know look, this is one of the best offenses in the game. Again, we talk about the passing offense things. Okay, they're like what third or fourth in scoring. I mean, this is since the bye, I think they lead the league in scoring. So it's like, what is the narrative trying to accomplish here from some of these national guys trying to keep discrediting the Bears? I mean, it's
Hmm.
pretty good offense. So I think the Bears will be able to put some points up. I think they'll have a good plan for Micah Parsons, who I guess he's offended or something with the Bears. I don't understand the whole Micah Parsons drama this week. Very strange to me. But yeah, they'll have a plan for that because Parsons is awesome. He's going to go against probably Ozzie Trapillo quite a bit, but they're not going to leave Trapillo on an island. They're going to have a plan. They're going to always know where Parsons is. So I just trust Ben Johnson. I mean, he'll get it figured out, and they'll put some points up here for on Sunday.
Now, who do you see taking this game with the W?
You know, leading up to it, I'm like, yeah, the Packers are going to win. The Packers are going to win. And then the Bears go out and they beat the Eagles in Philly. And,
Hmm.
and then you start looking at some of the numbers. You start looking at some of the players. You start looking at some of the injuries, and you're like, I don't know, man. It's just everything seems like a magical season for the Bears. I mean, I'm taking the Bears, man. 24-21 Bears.
There you go. Now, okay, now Lester, if this were to happen, don't get me riled up. You got the wrong guy riled up now. Now, if the Bears were to emerge victorious in Lambeau, what does that say about Chicago? Because obviously we know it's been no. The next couple games is going to tell us no. The next game is what does that do or say about the Bears if they were to win?
I mean, at some point, the excuses run out for these people. They're trying to keep discredit. Like I said, they keep trying to poke holes in what the Bears are doing.
Mhm.
They just keep winning. They just keep finding a way. And look, they're a good football team, right? I mean,
Mhm.
are they going to win it all? I mean, I don't think so. But I mean, look around me. I mean, they're the best team in the NFC right now. You know what I mean? It's like no one saw this coming. So yeah, I mean, if they beat the Packers, if you thought Bears fans pulled receipts last week, man, Packer fans are chirpy. They're always chirpy, right? They're always
Yes,
in your
sir.
mentions, always trying to stir up trouble.
Yep.
I mean, they're even already building in their excuses. Well, if the
Mhm.
Bears do win, it's because of. I mean, shut up, dude. Just
Yeah.
watch the game, have some fun. But yeah, man, if the Bears win this, look, I'm not much of a trash talker. I'm not much of a receipt puller. But the way some of these Packer fans just keep chirping, man, this would be a fun one on
Trust me,
social
they're on
media
me.
next week, man.
They're
It'll
on
be
me. They
fun,
know I have the podcast. They know all of this.
right?
They've been on me. They've been riding my. I got a couple bets out there as well too. And today when I was at the gym, I was talking to a guy in the sauna, and I even asked him, which he didn't have a rebuttal, but I was like, okay, prior to the Thanksgiving game, since you say the Bears just get lucky to haven't beat anyone, who have the Packers beat outside of beating the Lions once prior to Thanksgiving? Well. I was like, see, that's the thing that bothers me with the Packers fans. They make it seem like the Packers are just like God's gift to creation this year. And I'm like, you guys lost to the Panthers, tied the Cowboys, lost to the Eagles. I mean, it's like you guys aren't you who have you guys beat that you want to talk about us? And then they say, oh well, the strength is the remainder of your schedule. No. Worry about who you guys play. You
Yeah.
guys still have the Broncos. You guys still have the Ravens. You got it's like that's the thing. It's like it's always about the Bears, but then when you take it to them, it's always an excuse.
Bears live rent free in Packer fans. I know they like
Yes.
to use the same excuse. I don't talk trash. I don't go online. I don't interact with Packer fans. I just
Mhm.
don't because, like I said before on the show, why would I want their opinion? Their opinion is, they don't know what to talk about half the time. I mean, yeah, they
Mhm.
probably know their team. They don't know anything about the Bears. So, like, your
Mhm.
opinion is irrelevant to me. Like, I'm
Yes,
not going
sir.
to talk trash to you, especially if you come with garbage. Like you said, it's the
Mhm.
same thing. It's like they use the same excuse for one, but it doesn't work for the other.
Of course.
That's
Now,
childish.
like you said, Lester, the Bears may possibly win tomorrow. How does that work for the next couple games? Because then you got Cleveland after this with a really stacked defense, and you got to understand sometimes the wins do run out. You do face a couple of losses. They can't just keep winning them all, can they?
I mean, the Cleveland Browns have a really good defense. I mean, I talk
Hmm.
about Micah Parsons. I mean, Miles Garrett's on another level too. So, you know, again, I just think like I trust Ben until I see a reason not to trust Ben. There's not a game on the schedule the Bears can't win. I don't think they'll win them
Okay.
all, but if you look at them on the schedule, man, yeah, the Bears, what they're doing on offense, how their run game is clicking, there's not a game left on that schedule that they can't win.
Of course, of course. Now, if whoever wins tomorrow, does that predict who should win the meeting in 2 weeks between the two?
It'll be different. Obviously, this is in Lambeau. The next one's in Chicago. Look, emotions are going to be high. It's funny. I mean, Ben Johnson had that quote. When he was hired about beating Matt Lafleur, and like that was just a meatball quote. I would not be surprised if George McCaskey or Kevin Warren said, "Hey, take a shot at the Packers," because that's
Mhm.
that's the rival. So he said something tongue in cheek. He kind of had fun with it. It was kind of irrelevant until this week. Now the Packers are offended by it. Get out of here, dude. It's like, why is that fan base so soft where someone says one thing and now they're offended? Where, I mean, don't they normally talk trash? I mean, isn't Aaron Rodgers, when he was there, talk trash every game about the Bears? Or
Of
Aaron
course.
Rodgers is in Pittsburgh still talking trash about the Bears.
Yep,
So
yep.
it's like, give me a break here. It's like, you know what? It is what it is. Yeah, the Packers have won more.
Mhm.
These things turn, and then maybe Ben Johnson's the guy to turn it now.
Yes, sir. What they say? It's time for us to take the North and never give it back, right?
They've had it for 3 weeks, and they've been a first for now. So let's see, keep it.
Uh, all right, ladies and gentlemen, you have heard it first here first on Barely Watch Podcast. That's Lester Wiltfong Jr. I'm your host with the most, Devon Booker. Let's go out here and get a W in Lambeau. All right, Lester, we definitely had a great time talking to you, young man. We will talk to you shortly.
Anytime, my friend.
Yes, sir.